Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Storyteller's Corner. I'm your host, Joshua T. Calkins Trubergy, also known as Baron of Sidious. This is a storyteller's perspective piece. Every now and again, I will indulge in a little bit of chit-chat about NFL football. As a almost lifelong fan of the sport, since I was about 7 years old, I am predominantly a Philadelphia Eagles and Buffalo Bills fan. Born and raised in Buffalo, New York, so kind of the hometown team. But both of them have turned in a kind of a middle-of-the-road, kind of meh season performance, but good enough that both teams are going to be represented in the postseason. But I'll be honest with you, I don't foresee Philadelphia in the current state they're in going much further than maybe the divisional round. Given their performance the last quarter of the season, I could actually see them getting knocked out even in the wild card. I strongly suspect that an NFC West team is going to be representing the conference in the Super Bowl. And any of them are a major threat to Philadelphia. As for the Bills, they're an odd one, I must say, this season, because they're low in the seeding. I believe they're the number 7 seed going into the playoffs, but they've had the kind of up and down roller coaster performance that if they go into the playoffs and they play a game wherein Josh Allen is on top of his game and he's firing on all cylinders, as is James Cook, then on any given Sunday or any given play day, I could see them easily handing any of the other teams represented in the AFC conference in the playoffs, I could see them handing them a loss and sending them home. But if Josh Allen even has a bad half based on their performance throughout the season this year, they could be the ones easily being sent home by any of the teams in the AFC conference. It could go either way. It's really going to depend on which version of Josh Allen shows up to play. But that's not going to be my primary focus on this sports ball chit-chat. Outside of 1982's strike-shortened season, which saw 2 teams go into the postseason with a 4-5 record, being the Cleveland Browns and the Detroit Lions, outside of that strike-shortened season, there have only been 4 times that a losing record team was allowed into the playoffs. The 2010 Seattle Seahawks were 7-9, representing the NFC West as their champions. In 2014, Carolina Panthers at 7-8-1. Not technically a losing season, because the one that they didn't get a win was not a loss, it was a tie. They went in representing the NFC South. In 2020, the Washington football team, because they were no longer allowed to carry their old name, thanks to, modern politics, they went in at 7-9, representing the NFC East. And then in 2022, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 8-9 went in, representing the NFC South. Seriously, we need to do away with this whole sympathy seeding thing. This needs to be ditched. No, a losing team should not be seeded higher just because they won a garbage division. Make them the number 7 seed. I'm sorry. Let a more deserving team that did not come from, being crowned king of Turd Hill be represented in the playoffs. Seriously. But once again, for the 2025-26 season, we're going to have the NFC South for a third time being represented by a team with a losing record. And the championship will be determined by the other two teams, the Falcons and the Saints, loser teams in the bottom of this division. The winner of that will determine which 8-9 team that played today will go on as the NFC South champion. NFC South champions feels almost as fraudulent as the phrase Somali-run Minnesota daycare. At 8-9, the Bucks or Panthers can claim all day that they're legitimate, but like Abubahu, Muhammad and company in Minneapolis with their daycare and fraudulent healthcare offices, the numbers just don't add up. And before anyone goes, "Oh, you made it political," may I introduce and present to you Colin Kaepernick. Shut the fuck up. The entirety of the NFC South coaching staffs for all four teams should be compelled to wear dunce caps on the sidelines next season. And the players of these teams should have to wear adult diapers because they spent all this year producing nothing but loads of shit on the field. That's all I've got to say for now on the subject, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for listening. Cheers.